Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ryan from Amplify, and we're so happy to have you here today for our webinar, Fostering Fluency in K-5 Math with Kelly Serpa Howe. I'm going to give everybody just a couple minutes to go ahead and join us, but while we wait for people, please feel free to participate in a couple of these icebreakers. I'd love to hear from you. Like, what do you do in your classroom? Where are you from? What do you teach? Maybe even what made you want to join today's webinar.
I kind of like that you called them icebergs, Ryan.
Icebergs.
Well, because it's just the tip, right? The
Yeah,
tip of the
that's fair.
iceberg. That's fair about getting to know you. That's a good one.
You're out here saving me, Kelly. Thank you.
I got you. I got you.
All right,
Ooh,
there is the chat.
fifth grade. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica, I'm a former fifth grade teacher, and I have this theory that if you know one of us, you know us all. Thanks for joining us. Third grade, first grade, second grade. All right.
Oh my gosh, so many amazing educators.
Teachers are too good for this world because you know these teachers either are in the middle of their school day or just finished their school day. You guys are too good for the world, I swear.
Or the amount of you that are at lunch. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
joining us, especially if you're at lunch. Appreciate you. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get some things started for us today with a few helpful tips before I officially pass things over to Kelly. If you would like to access closed captioning for today's webinar, go ahead and click that CC button in the bottom of your Zoom tray, and subtitles should pop up for you throughout this webinar. We would love to hear from you, and Kelly loves participation. So please drop some things in the chat. I see so many amazing people participating already. Let's keep that energy up and drop questions, comments, whatever in the chat. However, if you have a burning question that you're like, I would love for Kelly to answer this question, please drop that in the Q&A. And if we have time, we'll go ahead and participate in a short little Q&A at the end of the webinar. You should receive a certificate of attendance and an email from us and from Zoom in a day or two. So keep an eye out for that. Again, that will have the certificate of attendance and a recording of this webinar as well. With that being said, I would love to pass things over to Kelly. Kelly has made a major impact on education for over 15 years, both as a classroom educator and as a professional learning specialist. She has recently earned her educational doctorate, where she focused her research on asset-based pedagogies. So, Kelly is one of my favorite speakers. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. I always love to have you.
Thank you, Ryan. And Amplify knows I won't do a webinar without my homeboy Ryan. So I sure do appreciate you being here. You too, Faith, but mostly you teachers. Thank you for joining me. I am not taking this webinar in my bedroom. I'm in a hotel. I'm in a hotel. The best part of my job is I get to go all over the country and work with wonderful educators. So please excuse my background. But there's pretty good internet in this hotel, so I think we're going to be okay. All right, let me get this screen set up so we can rock and roll. Let's make this nice and big. Great minds think alike, Ryan and I, with our intro slides. But teachers, I want you to get in that chat box again. And I do like to keep an eye on the chat box. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. So thank you. Define fluency in the mathematical context. What are you thinking? When we talk about what is fluency in the math class, use that chat box. Or if you're together with your colleagues, you're at lunch or something, make sure that you can do a little turn and talk. All right, let's see. I love to see like the overlap of words here. Accuracy, quick, automaticity. Yeah. Oh, we love that automaticity coming up a lot. Different strategies, flexible thinking. Okay. Read accurately. Oh, this is beautiful. We should have done this in a word bubble. You know where the most popular word gets bigger? Because it's so interesting to me. I saw as everyone was coming in, we have lots of different grade levels represented, but our definitions, there's so much overlap in here. All right, efficiency, accuracy. Use what they know to easily solve problems. Practice, kids knowing quick facts. I'm really enjoying this. Let's take like another 10 or 15 seconds to peruse through that chat box. Fluency does not just mean fast. Ooh, Jody. I love to share with the people that I talk to during presentations. I don't have any children. I have three perfect nephews, and my oldest nephew, oh, they're so perfect. You guys should know that right away. They're so perfect. But my oldest, most perfect nephew, not to be confused with my middle or youngest, most perfect nephew, is in the second grade. And I'm starting to see some of that. This isn't timed, but it's kind of timed. And he is such an excellent teacher. She's wonderful, but I'm starting to see a little bit of that timing appear and sprinkle its head in. Cool, cool. All right. Excellent. Thank you guys for participating. You keep those great thoughts coming in that chat box. We're going to create our own little PLC as we're over here talking about this fluency together. So, what fluency really means, in my humble opinion, and I think from some of your answers, we're going to get along just fine. We're going to vibe. You're thinking some of the same things, is really that flexibility, accuracy, and a strong number sense. Those are kind of the three things that I pieced together as I was thinking about what fluency actually means for our learners. So, fluent students understand what strategies work, and they can choose multiple approaches to adapt their thinking based on that process. It's also students being able to explain their reasoning and make the connections. That's the big thing for me with fluency. Having students be able to make those connections between different numbers and also self correct when something doesn't make sense. Oh my gosh. Fifth grade teachers, I know we're saying it. I know the rest of you teachers are saying it too, looking at a student's answer and then saying, but does that make sense? Especially if they did like a traditional algorithm or something and they're having a hard time coming to that. So that kind of self-correctness to get to that accuracy is really important when we're talking about fluency. Fluency is also going to support confidence in the math classroom. Um, Being that former fifth grade teacher, knowing what a big push we have for fractions in grade 5, I knew that when my students were fluent with their multiplication facts, they were going to be successful with their fractions. They were going to then be successful with their algebra 1 because of how all the connectivity of all those things. So it's really important that students have that fluency in order to build that positive math identity and that confidence. So let's start with flexibility. Flexibility to me is there's more than one way to solve a problem. I love, love, love when a student shows me a new way to think about something that I haven't thought about in the past, or a new way to solve that problem. And I especially love when they can articulate it and they have that mathematical discourse with them and they're really using those skills. That is that flexibility for me. Being able to decompose and recompose values, using the facts that they know to help figure out what they don't know, and not really relying on a single method. So, I wanted to show you some things about flexibility in our Amplify Desmos Math and our Amplify Classroom. I'm going to throw a whole bunch of resources at you today, freebie resources at that. So, if you were looking for resources today, it is your lucky day. Let's do this. And Ryan, help me out with this. In the chat box right now, I'm going to drop in a link. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to drop it in, and Ryan will continue to drop it in, and Faith too, as well. Here's what you're going to do, teachers. You're going to put me in one tab. In another tab, you're going to click that link, okay? And it's going to take you to an activity. And actually, I'm going to join you over there in just a minute. Let me get you there. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to pause you too, so you can't do any clicking. I'll explain what I'm seeing in just a minute. Thank you for getting on in there. Use that. It might ask you if you want to sign in or just continue as a guest. Continuing as a guest is your best option over there, unless you're really quick and you know you Amplify login. But yeah, right now there's nothing you can do on the screen. I'll meet you over there in just a minute. I'm going to do a little number talk to talk about that flexible thinking, more than one strategy. How do you see it? Things like that. So as you're getting over there, I would love to do this type of activity. This comes from our Amplify Classroom. I'd love to do it where I'm calling my students to the rug. That's me. That's me teaching right there. And I'm up there and I've got my smart board and I have this activity over there and my students are in front of me on the rug. We're going to do a little math together. Start off our math time with one of those beautiful low floor, high ceiling entry point for all kids number talks. I'm going to give you another second to get over there. All right. Cool, cool. Okay. I'm purposely keeping you paused, which means I can touch things on my screen and I can make my screen move, but you can't do anything on yours. I am doing that on purpose because if you were my students and you were on the rug, you wouldn't have a device in front of you. But I wanted you to have this resource for later on. That's why I put it in there. So imagine you're my students. We're going to do a little how many do you see? So here's what's going to happen, students. When these curtains open up, there's going to be something there, a number of something that you'll have to count up. And I want to know how many do you see? But first, I want to ask you, how long do you want that curtain open for? Do you want it open for 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds? Forever is not an option right now. How long do you want that open for? Three, 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 two, three, three. Okay, so 1 second is what I heard. How long you want it open for? Perfect. Excellent. Nice job. Okay. All right, let's do two. We'll do two. We'll do two. So I want you to put your elementary school hat on when I open this up over here and think about how a student would process this. What would they see? If my students were in front of me, what I would do is I like to get a sign from them. I'd say, when you have the number in your brain, give me a little thumbs up so I don't have the kids shouting out what the number is. Inevitably, you will have the kids shouting out, which we love. They're excited about the math, but I'll just ask you to handle that with your usual grace and poise, how you handle when those things happen. Okay. 2 seconds. Are you ready? The curtain's going to open in 3, 2, 1. That's a generous 2 seconds. Okay. And I bet lots of you have little thumbs up in front of you as we saw them. So when my students have their little thumbs up, let's open this up for forever so we can chat. There we go. When my students show their little thumbs up, I might want to ask one of them, how did you count that so fast? And get to those strategies there. Dig in on what the student says. Oh, yeah, I see you teachers in that chat box. I sure do appreciate you saying that they saw 20. So I might say, Danielle, how did you count them so fast? And Danielle might say to me, well, I know that one of the towers or one of the blocks, I love informal math language at this time, is 10. Oh, that's wonderful, Danielle. And Sally, I see that you said you saw 2 10s. Well, who's right? Danielle or Sally? And start to have those conversations with my students. Okay. Yeah, 20, 2 rows of 10. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Now, the cool thing about this is this was A that we did. We also have B and C over here. So we're going to do this again. Okay. You want to play again? Let's do it again. Let's go back. Close my screen. We're going to do 1 second this time. That was a very generous 2 seconds, I feel. Oh, thank you, Teacher Nicole. You are still stuck on pause. I'm driving right now, girl, okay? But I'll unpause you in just a second. Yep, you're all paused right now. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm going to take you to B. Put your eyes on my screen, okay? Come back to my voice. Come back to my voice. Here we go. B is opening up in 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. False alarm, false start. B is now opening up in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, what are we seeing? You've all got your thumbs up. Go ahead and dump it in the chat box too. Give me something different besides 40. Okay, we've got 4 10s. Good. Oh, 4 groups of 10. Love it. This is that flexible thinking. So much student brilliance in the room. Lots of things right. Lots of things that are happening correct over here. 4 times 10. Oh, nice job. Was that you, Pamela? Nice job. 10, 20, 30, 40, says Mallory. I love it. 400s. Excellent. Yep, excellent. I love this. I hope your students give you all these beautiful answers like you are giving me. Sure do appreciate your participation, teachers. We're going to do it one more time. Right now, I might ask my students, what do you think the next screen is going to be? Can we make a prediction based on what we saw previously? Is there any kind of pattern here, maybe? Maybe, maybe not. Let's go over to C. Put your eyes on me, okay? Come back over to my screen. I'm going to open up C for you. I know you're still paused. I sure do appreciate you. In 3, in 2, and in 1. Oh, what was that? What was that? Bring your eyes over to me and your screen will open up. And actually, just so there's no confusion in the room, I will unlock your screen. Now your screen will open up as well, not just mine. So you can take a look at what happened with C. Yeah, there you go. Nice job, teacher. So I love something like this to start that math class, to start digging into that flexible thinking for my students. I was always looking for good and new and interesting number talks. There's something about this screen though that is so fun for me with students. And the way that the curtain opens up, I hope you like it just as much as I do. Now, of course, I want you to go and use our Desmos, our Amplify Desmos tools, our Amplify Classroom tools while you're exploring this, but this could be done simply on the whiteboard, right? With a piece of paper in front of it, just to have that strategy. Yeah, the curtain's so good, right, Diane? I love it. Makes it all dramatic. So I unpaused you so you can click around on that screen, make a mess of it, teachers. Go ahead and explore that. I'm going to go back to the main screen for now, my main presentation, when we can talk a little bit about accuracy. And then we'll go back to where we were in just a minute. We're going to kind of go back and forth through the presentation. So let's talk about that definition of accuracy. Pretty straightforward here, I think, right? All about precision, understanding the quantities that are involved, reasoning things out, and not guessing. I kind of like it when students guess in math class as a way of developing their ideas and valuing their mistakes. An educated guess, right? When we're talking about fluency, though, we want to make sure that eventually that guessing has stopped and we're really focusing in on that precision and accuracy. So I thought to really push in on this point, I want to show you a lesson. This is one of my very most favorite lessons in Amplify Desmos Math. It is called Desperate Times, Desperate Measures. If you've explored some of our curriculum or some of our free activities, you've probably picked up on we love a little tongue in cheek, a little interesting title. So I really like this one. We're going to talk about measuring object lengths when we're not starting with zero to focus in on that accuracy. Now, this screenshot, what you see on your screen and what I have on my screen over here, this is just a screenshot from our digital teacher's guide, kind of breaking this lesson down, talking about what makes it so great. This is one of our digital lessons. Now, if you've explored Amplify Classroom, you've probably seen we do have some paper resources, or maybe some of you have committed to our curriculum, which is Amplify Desmos Math. And you see, we truly are a blended program. We're a whole lot of tech and a whole lot of paper. Just a little asterisk caveat note to the side, I like to say you can implement our full Amplify Desmos Math curriculum in grades K through 5 fully 100% on paper. You don't have to do it digital. I think sometimes people hear that name Desmos and they're like, this must be a digital thing. Well, not necessarily, okay? However, the activity that I chose for you today, because I knew I was going to be I'm in Ohio today. Shout out to all the Ohio people on here. I knew I was going to be in Ohio and you were going to be at your home. I decided to do a digital activity with you. So, desperate times, desperate measures. As I said, we're measuring objects and we're not starting with zero. We're going to use those vocabulary words, length and ruler. And there's a lot of instructional routines in this lesson. We're not going to go through the whole entire lesson, but you will have access to it so you can check it out on your own. We do a little notice and wonder in here, which I love. That's an activity that every single kid can do. I really get passionate about these math talks that everyone can have. A little think, pair, share. And we got a little math language routine in there. Number 8, discussion supports. Okay. Our lessons always have a language goal, which I know you, my K-5 brothers and sisters, we know we're reading teachers too. I'm reminding if there's any middle or high school teachers in here, you're a language teacher, you're a reading teacher too. So make sure we hit those language supports as well. And then there's just some materials that go along with this one. We have the lessons that it's addressing and building towards. This is a second grade lesson. So like without any further ado, should we get into it? You want to see it? Okay. Open up that other tab now. That link you were just in when the curtains were opening and closing, or the curtains were not opening and you guys were all mad at me. Oh, Ryan just put the link in there again. There we go. I'm going to move your screen, okay? So this is one of our amazing tools in Amplify Classroom where I can take over your screen, and I'm going to do that right now. So I've pulled you with me into desperate times, desperate measures, where we're going to start measuring things not starting with zero. Okay. I'm going to open up another screen for you. Come on along with me. Yep, I pulled you again. And I'm going to encourage you just to start clicking. Okay. There's not a whole lot of direction on here. We just want to do a little notice and wonder with our students. All right. I love to think that our students are digital natives, but I know sometimes it takes a minute to kind of get used to what is on the screen here. So you can do a little dragging over here. All right. And I'm going to say no more than that. Go ahead. And if you have like a really brilliant notice and wonder, dump it in that chat box. Don't make me feel lonely. Make me feel like we're all together participating. Here it comes. Amanda says, my ruler broke and I can't fix it. Yep. Number line. Why does it keep breaking? Not the ruler. They can click and play. Thank you, teacher Sally. I love it too. I love math joy. And this is such like an easy way to get that math joy buzzing in the class. Oh yeah, teacher, I need help. Oh my gosh, Jessica, all day long is it teacher? My kids will always miss. But I love that kind of excitement that this is going to generate. I wonder how many kids will know how to handle it. Teacher Janice, we were thinking the same thing. Okay, but remember what the point of this lesson is, right? We're not starting with zero. So this is such a great screen to create that need for the math. And it's going to start to produce that flexible thinking and that need for precision and accuracy. Yeah, you can't really do it in the classroom. Thank you, Cynthia. And Cynthia, oh my gosh, that is such a brilliant point. If you guys look in the chat, I hope I'm not embarrassing you, Cynthia. This is a really great point. You can't really do that in the classroom. Here's where the tech helps. Teachers in our program, when we say, hey, this would be a really good tech lesson, it's not just for the sake of putting the kids on a device, okay? It's not just tech for the sake of tech. It's things like this. And like Cynthia had noticed, you can't just do this with any, it's tech that really thinks alongside the student, right? Unless you want a bunch of broken rulers. All right, I'm going to play along with me. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Next screen. All right. So we've got a little activity over here. The directions say describe. Oh, describe. Click to change the length of the caterpillar. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Okay, cute. Thank you. I think so too. So I would definitely do this in pairs with my kids. I might want to put them 2 students on one device so they can talk about this together with their elbow partner, leaning in on that think, pair, share, letting them explore this, get that cute math representation. Wait a minute. Why does it say 4? It's at the 8. Really start to develop that reasoning. Changes 1 unit at a time. Super cute. Cool. Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to open up. I want you to see how this starts to progress over here. So what I've done is I've opened you up to 4 more screens. If you look on the top right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see a big blue arrow. You can click that arrow and it'll take you to the next screen. I have to tell you though, teachers, if you were my second graders, holy smokes, I would never do this to you. Okay. I want you to be able to get in there and put your student hat on and put your teacher hat on and dive into this and be able to look at this activity we say together. I don't just open this up for my students though. Our tech at Amplify is meant to be done with a teacher facilitated. At least this part of it is anyway. Okay. So please know what you're doing right now. If you're thinking, geez, Kelly, this would be kind of confusing for a second grader. Like, where's the teaching? What am I doing here? No. I opened this up for you. We're going to get into our teacher guide for this lesson in just a minute so you can see what that looks like. But I just wanted you to have some space to think about this. I got a big feeling when we make like grown adults act like little kids and we're teaching them a lesson. No. Look at this. Okay. I know we've got plenty of second grade teachers in the room that can take a look. As abstract or concrete as they need. Thank you, Teacher Lisa. Yep, I hear you, my friend. You guys keep going. I'm going to show off a few things on my platform. Just in case I didn't make this clear, you have the student side of things on your screen, and I have like the teacher side. I would be showing this up on my smart board or whatever I have in the classroom. Okay. Something else I have over here is, let me go like this. I'm going to do just a few things. Okay. Something else I have over here, if I tab over to the teacher side of things, I can see exactly what my students are doing just about in real time. It all depends on how good the Hilton Garden Inn internet is for what I can see over here and your school building's internet, but it's just about in real time with the students. I can see exactly what they are working on. There is one more thing I want to show you. Okay. You might be wondering, is Nikola Tesla in my class? Wait a minute. What? What are these names? These are not your names in this class. Before I switched over to this tab, I anonymized you. So if you look on the top of your screen, a minute ago, your name was there. And you know what? I'll put it back. Boop, look for your name on the top of your screen. And now I just anonymized you. Now you're named after a famous mathematician. For a few years, they allowed me to teach middle school. I quickly went back to elementary. But I found that my middle school students, and maybe some of the elementary school students too, any student, felt a little self conscious having their work up there. So, this anonymized mode is what we call it. And it's just to make that safe space for every student. Now, here's the cool thing, you know who you are, because if you look on the top of your screen, you can see your famous mathematician's name. And I know who you are too. If I hover over that mathematician, I see you, Teacher Morgan. Okay. I can hover over and see exactly who you are. Okay. All right. Another one of those cool tools we have. Mhm. Of course, I can click through this. What's really nice too about this, oh, thank you, teacher. Somebody did a little, oh, lots of you did it. Yeah, did a little, right? Teacher Mallory, I'm going to pull yours up. Teacher Mallory was making marks over here on the caterpillar. I like to see that. I can see all of my students' work if they write anything on here or make marks. I can certainly see that. And what's nice about this dashboard is it lives on forever. Well, at least till the end of the school year, I should say. In the moment, I'm with my kids. But it was really nice to have this dashboard afterwards when I was reflecting on my math class, looking for different evidence from my students, and just reflecting on my teaching. This dashboard lives on. So to check out this dashboard during my prep period, see some of their work, take a closer look into it, it was really helpful to me. Oh, yeah, and I can see all of the marks make. Okay, so Teacher Shauna, this is a great question. Is it possible to print the dashboard? Not without taking screenshots of it. That would be like the only way. It's more of like a workaround. But in our Amplify Desmos math curriculum, I promised you that you could do this. This is a lesson from there. I promised you that you could do it on paper, and you can. So there is a paper version of this. It doesn't have what we call that Desmos magic with the little broken ruler, things like that. But you can implement this with Fidelity on paper if you would like something like that. Okay. So yeah, that is an option, and I'm sure Ryan and Faith, we can be in touch with you if you're interested in learning more about all of those things. Okay? Yeah. All right, you want to see how this lesson finishes up? So we did the warm up where the ruler broke, and then the part that you just saw next, where I had you bracketed, that is activity one. That was meant to last about 20 minutes with me facilitating it, talking every step of the way through it with my students. Okay. I'm going to open up activity two. Usually, activity two has a little more procedural fluency in it. Um, so I'm going to open up activity two. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I'm going to pull you. You ready? Whoop, here we go. I'm pulling you to activity two. There we go. Ryan, put it in there one more time in case you want to see it. So these next two screens consist of our activity 2. These are meant to last 15 minutes. Okay, these next two screens are. So I love this. I saw something about uh showing the work. Does that count as an explanation? Things like that. I like that this screen actually has a discussion point in there compared to their top partner with the table. We like to put those points in. Don't forget too, you are facilitating this. Not like I did. I didn't facilitate this with you today, okay? So you could say to a student, oh yes, I heard Carlitos show me evidence verbally or through a different way. And you put that mental check on for that student. Okay. All right. Give me another minute. I'm going to tab over to my summary tab, something that I only have as the teacher. You don't have it as the student. And here's where I'll see all of my, oops, hold on. Tab it again. There we go. There we go. Here is where I'll see all my students listed, and I'll see X's and checks, depending on if they're getting it right or wrong. Dots mean they did something on that screen. All right. So it's a nice at a glance. I used to have my students put up, 1 if you're having a tough time, 2 if you kind of get it, 3, and some of them, again, would feel that embarrassed. It's nice to have the actual evidence here. And then some of them, again, would just always put up 3s. And I'm like, I know you don't get this yet. Anyway, it's nice again to have the data that the Desmos dashboard can provide us with. All right, I'm going to pull you again, folks. In 3, 2, 1. I've pulled you over to our synthesis, okay? So every single one of our lessons wraps up with a synthesis, a show what you know, and then a reflection. I've opened up 3 screens for you, and you can explore all of those. So the synthesis is just that consolidation of learning, bringing everything together. If you click the blue arrow, you're going to be taken to a show what you know. I see that 8, 10, 9, 13 of you are already there. That show what you know is your exit ticket. Every single one of our lessons has one, whether you're facilitating it digitally or on paper. But there's your exit ticket over there. Nice data point, nice data exclamation point at the end of my lesson. And then if you use that blue arrow one more time till you can't go any further, we do a little reflection with the students. And I used to think, oh, that's so warm and cozy and nice. Okay. And then maybe some of you are a little dorky like me. I just finished reading Joe Bowler's most recent Mathish and I loved it. And after reading it, I was so inspired about really getting my kids to start thinking about math more. So now that warm and cozy screen is not just a warm and cozy screen. It has some real meaning to me. So let's see. Oh, it's such a good book. Yeah. What steps did you say you had in each lesson? Sally, we're going to go over to the teacher guide in just a minute and I'll really break it down for you. Hang in there with me, okay, friend? Thank you, Teacher Miriam. You can change the language. So right now we are available in both English and I always get it wrong. It's the real Spanish that's translated by Spanish speaking math teachers, not just the Google Translate stuff. I think it's transadaptive. I know I've got experts in the room that can help me with that. But yeah, you can change the language as well. You're going to notice if you try to change the language, we give you a lot of language options, and sometimes just the directions will change, but everything is in English and authentically translated Spanish. Yeah, Teacher Jessica, we got those workbooks in Spanish as well. Call us up, friend. We can talk more about that. We'll make sure you get some contact information at the end of this for sure. All right. So here's what I'm going to do now, teachers. I am going to unsync you, unpace you, let you just go be free range mathematicians over here. So I've opened up this entire lesson for you if you want to check it out. Our curtain number talk that we did at the beginning, I added it to this lesson too, but that's not like where this lesson starts. That actually comes from a first grade lesson. So I like to call this a a Frankenstein lesson. I pulled from one lesson and another lesson to create this lesson here. Okay. Oh, teacher Allison, this question is so good. I love when, oh, there we go. I love when this question comes up because it always does whenever I do an activity like this. Do the directions have text to speech? No. And here's why. Remember, I'm facilitating it. So I'm reading these directions to my kids, not like what I did with you today. Okay, girl? No, I did a terrible job. Because it's meant to be done with a teacher in a classroom as the math lesson. No, this part of our program doesn't read anything to the students. Good question. It's like you teed me up to say that. I appreciate that. All right. So I'm going to go back over here. Come along with me if you want to see what the teacher guide for desperate times, desperate measures looks like. We've got those big, beautiful spiral bound teacher guides with our full program, with our Amplify Desmos math program, which does run TK all the way through Algebra 2. Something for everybody in there. But also, if you're just exploring our Amplify Classroom, if you're looking at our freebie stuff and things like that, you will see different tools to help you facilitate these lessons as well. What I did, what you see on your screen right now, is I just took a screenshot of our spiral bound teacher guide so we can talk a little bit about this lesson. So it does come from second grade. It's in Unit 3, Lesson 10. So, a couple months into the school year, we have our students looking at this. Something that I love is we're going to go over the goals, of course, just like you and I did. We go over the math practice. We go over prior learning and future learning, which I think is really important. But my favorite thing on this first page of the teacher guide is rigor and balance. I know I'm amongst friends, so I know I can say to you that I am a recovering traditional teacher. Yep. You know better, you do better, right? It's a practice. Teaching is a practice. We're all moving our practice in different ways at different times. But oh, friends, I was one of those. Here's the algorithm, learn the algorithm, spit back the algorithm to me, and we call that math class. Amplified Desmos math is very different from that. But this rigor and balance really helped me as someone who was trying so hard to move my teaching forward because it lets me know how much is abstract, how much is fluency, how much is conceptual for these kids, and it just kind of helps me cool my jets and move a little slower, move a little more deliberately, I should say, with my students in math class. Okay, so I hope it's helpful to some of you too. It's a practice, it's a practice. The steps in our teacher guide. We follow this cycle of launch, monitor, connect in every single one of our lessons. Okay. So this is problem-based learning at its finest. We're going to start with the launch, and the launch is giving our students something interesting to chew on. So for the launch for desperate times, desperate measures, I might say something like this to my students. Today you'll explore measuring lengths starting up at a point other than 0, the length of the unit. So it gives me some words there to kind of launch this for my students to have some time to explore that math. I am not starting with the traditional algorithm. I'm starting with something interesting for my students to step into that we hope every student can do. Something else I love about our teacher guide, since it came up, let's address it. We're going to have supports in there for English language learners at different times, just different things to look at, to be aware of in our experiences as curriculum developers have come up during these times when we've done this with students. Okay. So we go from launch, giving our kids something interesting to think about, to monitoring. We're monitoring for understanding in screens 3 through 5 of that lesson. So I have some words here. We're not a scripted program, but if you need words, I got your back, friends, okay? I might want to say, what do you notice about how the caterpillar is lined up on the measurement tool? Oh, very careful about the words there. I like that, okay? Or it might say, how could you use the structure of the measurement tool to measure the caterpillar, okay? Different things I can ask my students to help move their thinking forward. Again, moving them over to that connection piece where I'm going to connect this to the standard that I'm addressing. Now, I told you I taught elementary school and I just loved it. And then I taught middle school a little bit too. Sometimes I would give my sixth graders something that I thought was really interesting to chew on, something that I thought was going to promote that math discourse. And I would say, so what do you think, class? And they'd all just kind of look at me. Sometimes that happens in elementary school, but not too often in my experience, okay? We have something to help with that. When the students are just kind of staring at you like, "Huh?" We have a differentiation teacher moves in our teacher guide, okay? So we're going to direct you to this. Inside of our teacher guide, we have these tools with support, strengthen, and stretch for students, okay? Support is kids that need a little bit of loving. They're not quite getting the point of this activity, or they're giving you a blank stare, or you're asking them what they think, and they're like, this caterpillar's blue. It sure is. But let's think about this in the math context, okay? So we give you different look fors and say tos to help get your students thinking off the ground, to help move the students thinking forward, and mostly so we don't revert back to that traditional algorithm. Not yet, not yet. Okay. So I love this piece here because it gave me those words to say to my students to help move their thinking. My favorite part of this support, strengthen, and stretch table, though, is my stretch. I was always told with my high flyers, okay, what can I do to like deepen their understanding of the math? And I was always thinking, I don't know. What do I do? Over here, I can ask this to my students, give them something interesting that will deepen their understanding, a little challenge right in the moment, right in the lesson for them. All right. Okay. So we did launch, we did monitor. The third step in our cycle here is that connection piece. I think there's a misconception that there's not time for direct instruction when we're doing problem-based learning. This connection could be that direct instruction moment because we've already given our students the opportunity to think about it. Okay. So we're always going to call out the key takeaway. By the time we get to this point of the lesson, my students should be able to do this key takeaway. Okay. And if they can't, maybe I want to go back to that differentiation table or take a moment to pause, do some modeling there to make sure that we are all there before we move any further. Okay. All right. The last of the things that I would like to talk to you about today is building that strong number sense. Guys, this is the foundation of everything, okay? When our students have that strong number sense, they're going to have quantity, magnitude, place value, and be able to represent or understand number relations. To show you how we're doing that, I want to show you our fluency practice. Teachers, this is a freebie. Oh my gosh, this is like my favorite freebie that we're going to share with you tonight. Our fluency practice is based on Dan Finkel's work of spaced repetition. And when is the best time to show a child a number, a fact, in order for them to cement it to their memory, make sure that they have it, they're really producing that fluency. So, our fluency practice is free. You are welcome to use it. We're going to make sure we hook you up with all the ways on how to do that. And actually, be patient with me. I think I'm going to take you there right now. Yeah. I took some notes over here. Let's do this. I'm going to give you another link. Pardon my clicks over here. Cool. I put it in the chat box for you. Okay? I put it in the chat box for you. This is our Amplify Fluency, our fluency practice. If you click it, it's going to take you to this screen right over here. And this is where you can set up your account. You can go in right away and say, I'm an educator or I'm a student. Or if you click that Learn More button down at the bottom, looks like a big dark colored pill down at the bottom over there. We're going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to set up your class so your students can experience these digital flashcards as well. Okay, here's what I love so much about this resource, though. If you look here or on your on the page that you're on, we do this in an asset-based way. We're not just throwing 7 times 7 in front of your student on our digital flashcard. No. We're starting off with some images. We're starting off with some tools to help them understand that, and then eventually taking that away once they're showing that they have that fluency there to make sure they have that automaticity there, to make sure they are not doing that counting there. Okay. So I love this resource. I hope you like it too. If you literally have any other Amplify product at your school, we can turn this on for you for sure so you can experience fluency practice. And if you don't have any other Amplify product at your school. Well, what's wrong? Come on, call us up. We want to be friends. But you can still access our fluency practice as a freebie. Anyway, okay. All righty. One more freebie for you. If you are not familiar with Amplify Classroom, holy guacamole, teachers go there. Amplify Classroom gives you so many free lessons that you can try with your students. My favorite one are the math ones, of course. I'm sure you're all shocked to hear that, but there's also literacy and science lessons there as well. We sort them by grade level, so you can look like that, or you can search by topic. But our Amplify Classroom, this is something so amazing. It's such a great resource for educators. Please get on in there. We're so proud to develop all this stuff at Amplify. We're so proud to give you a nice, healthy portion of this stuff for free, but it's nothing unless you use it. So check it out. Get on in there to Amplify Classroom and explore some of these resources. We love to share them with you. Lessons like Desperate Times, Desperate Measures, and others are in there as well to get your students really thinking about math in that way. The literacy ones are really good, and the science ones, I just started to explore the science ones. Science is my second love. I hope you find some good resources in there for your students as well. Folks, everything I showed you today tells the story of the complete program or pieces of the complete program that is Amplify Desmos Math. Now, we're friends now. I've said it a few times. So if you hear rumblings in your district like, "Ooh, it's just about that time for us to review our math curriculum," or "I think it's time for a change. We should look at a new math curriculum. I'm sick of these books. We need something different." Please remember your friends over here at Amplify. We have core instruction, differentiation, and assessment as well to really help create a portrait of a learner through our Amplify Desmos Math program. TK, transitional kindergarten, all the way up through Algebra 2. And we want to talk to you. We want to help you meet those math needs for sure. That's Amplify Classroom. Ryan, Faith, we're a few minutes early to finish up. What did I forget? I always forget something. What did I forget? What's going on in that chat box? I took my eyes off of it for a minute.
I was going to say, Kelly, I don't know if you forgot stuff, but I did see that some educators had a couple of questions that I could
Oh, yeah. Let's go in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
answer.
Thank you. Okay.
Some of those being, do we have the capacity to access this platform as an educator? Yes, you can head over to amplify.com/classroom and access Amplify Classroom for free. As an educator, you can create your classroom, put students in there, and you can access some of these lessons for free through Amplify Desmos Math Try It lessons. There are also tons of other pre-made lessons in there as well. But to get the full benefit of our curriculum, yes, Amplified Desmos Math is for sure the way to go.
Right, right.
Um, and then another question about whether or not this curriculum can be purchased as a district or as an individual teacher. I do believe the answer to that is just as a district, correct,
Teacher,
Kelly?
yes, teacher, you are too generous. Stop buying stuff. You're so sweet. And so thank you. Thank you for even considering that. We want to work with your district though, because we want to do like a full implementation with Fidelity, get PD training in there, really build a relationship with the district. Yeah.
For sure. And then also, whether or not there is a student workbook. Yes, with our paid curriculum, there is a full student workbook that is available for you to use. And again, that K-5 curriculum can be done all on pencil and paper if you choose. However, that 6 through 8 plus curriculum does have that digital component as well. That is a requirement throughout the units.
Mhm.
And then for our free curriculums of like our free lessons and activities available just through Amplify Classroom, there are some student activities that are paper and pencil on there as well that you can download, just not a full student workbook with those activities.
Yeah.
And then looking
You know what I
through,
didn't do, Ryan? And I need to make the shameless plug. Please join us on social media, as lame as it sounds, because we are building such a great math community there when we all start to talk to each other. Also, when Amplify drops, like, I know we dropped some really great things right before the holidays. You know, the most academically rigorous time of the year when you're desperately looking for something very engaging for the kids. If you join our social media, we'll let you know when we drop some of those cool lessons too.
For sure. I mean, I feel like we always drop some really great activities around holidays, around
Yeah.
like just anything. Like, I mean, Pi Day, we'll have Pi Day resources coming up,
Oh my gosh.
stuff like that. Yep, check us out on on social media. We are just Amplify or Amplify Education on like everything.
And Ryan, I'm putting you on the spot now. Do we do a follow-up email to this webinar?
We will do a follow-up
Oh,
email.
cool. So that'll all be in there too.
Yep, yep. So go ahead and check out all of that. So again, keep an eye out for that email that will be coming from us, where you'll receive the recording of this webinar, link to your certificate of attendance, and some of the other free resources that are available.
You make me smile, Erica. Thank you. My therapist will hear all about the nice things you said. Thank you. But you know what, though? Ryan will tell you this, and Faith will tell you this too. Every presentation I give is like this because teachers, I love this stuff. I've seen what it can do for students, and I'm just so passionate about what we're doing over here at Amplify that I want you to get excited about it too. It's really good.
For sure. I
Yeah.
did also see another question in here about whether or not Amplified Desmos Math can be purchased for homeschooling. Unfortunately, no. Again, for the same reasons as if an individual teacher could purchase Amplified Desmos Math.
Mhm.
However, you are able to access Amplify Classroom and use that with your student or students as well, for sure. So check out Amplify Classroom in that case. And yes, Yolanda, there is a certificate for this training. It will be in that post of an email that you'll receive from us in a day or two.
Awesome.
All right. Well, with that being said, I am just going to share again just a few more little nuggets. I know Kelly shared a whole bunch of free resources with you. Some of these are the same, some of these are a little bit different. If you'd like to continue your fluency journey, please head over to this link, bit.ly/power of fluency, and access our Power of Fluency ebook. There's a whole bunch of great information there about the power of fluency, including some additional fluency practices specifically from Amplify Classroom. So head over there, check out those fluency resources there. If you would like to see the rest of the webinars in this series, head over to amplify.com/math webinars. I did see a question about whether or not there would be any sixth grade or eighth grade or seventh grade or anything else for fluency in our webinars. Yes, the rest of the webinars are not specifically K through 5 focused. So content for 6 through 8 and K through 5 will be covered in our future webinars in this series as well. So if you're looking for more fluency webinars, head over to amplify.com/math webinars. If you would like to access any of the activities available on Amplify Classroom, create a free Amplify Classroom account at amplify.com/classroom. And again, you'll have access to some of those free Amplify Desmos Math Try It lessons, which are real lessons that come straight from our curriculum. So if you're enjoyed any of those lessons Kelly shared today, head over and check that out. And finally, if you would like to learn more about Amplify Desmos Math or how to bring it to your district, head over to amplify.com/math and you can get in contact with a product expert today. Well, it looks like that's kind of all of the questions that we have.
Yeah. Ryan, you're the best. Faith, you're the
Oh,
best. Teacher,
Kelly,
you're
I love that.
amazing.
Yes, teachers, you are also amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us again, whether it's the end of the day, whether you're at the middle of your day, or even at lunch. We appreciate having you all. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Bye.